being very brief because Rudo and team, Fortnite is a company that has been around for, as of this year, 20 years. We started in 2022, I mean in 2002, and we are in 2022. It will take me a whole hour to showcase who we are and what we have done. Because what we have done and what we are doing is very, very important for credibility purposes and trade referencing purposes. But I'd like to challenge you to please allow me anytime next week to come and actually share this in person so that you can ask me refined information other than just, what would appear to be marketing information. But in brief, we have a presence in the financial sector in terms of infrastructure and core banking systems in this country and on the continent. We have a presence in the mining sector in terms of infrastructure and enterprise system running some mines. We have a presence in the manufacturing sector, a presence in government across the continent and in this country. And when we sit down, we can delve into details of who we are talking about, which clients, what's running in there, and so forth. But in the 20 years we've been around in the market in Zimbabwe, we have a 100% success rate in terms of installation, from the small, medium to the high client. And so we come in with the experience of having sampled, utilized, and implemented a cross-section of systems. And when we settle and pick a system for a certain sector, it is after a whole lot of research, trial, and evidence of how that works. This is why today we are showcasing this ERP which we believe is the hand-in-glove fit for your institutions and similar institutions. There are a whole lot of other sectors that I will share after the presentation that speak to why we work with our colleagues at Wish here and in Africa, and as recently as a month ago in West Africa. But because of time, I would like to please ask that we start the presentation so that you see what you're gathered here for, which is, does this work for you? Does it address your pain points? When that is done and there's enough time left, we have question time. And then we deal with any questions that you have. But I would like to ask you if you feel at the end that you've got a story to tell, that I come in and sit down in person and tell that story, but more so answer questions that help you to get a comfortable level as to who you're dealing with in the country and globally as a partner. So, Saj, you may please proceed, unless Rudo, you've got a question for now.
No problem. I'll proceed. Thank you so much, Cliff. Thank you all and for taking our time. My name is Saj. I'm representing Wish here. I lead the ERP business for them. So basically, I would want to just give a simple profile. Wish has been in business for some time, and we have a ERP solution which takes care of end-to-end, and that is what I will be showcasing to you. It comes with a complete solution of all the modules which I will be taking you, and is available in a very configurable manner. And I think since we have a limited time, we will go straight into the application, and it encompasses straight almost all these modules which are available right from accounting, selling, buying, stock, asset management. All of these management are inbuilt in this. So I think since we would love to see the application more, so we move on to the application just to show. So it's a web-based application. If you see my home screen, and I'll just take you through the application at a glance from now, just to show you how the interface looks like, so that you get familiarized, and then from there we will go into specifics of the modules based on how Deluxe business is. I would want this session, if possible, to be a little bit interactive, so that I also get cues from your side as to what your areas of interest would be also, because this is a very comprehensive application. So just to start with, this application comes from a user interface point of view. It is available on the web. It is also available on the mobile, and it's a highly responsive application. So if you see this application, you can even open it on a mobile browser. So it comes from all kinds of accessibility. So that's the first point. It is role-based and tailor-made, and the best part is it even your internal employees as well as external stakeholders, maybe your dealers, maybe you could give access to a lot of other stakeholders to the application. It could be depending on your business. So your business, I'm sure there are a lot of external stakeholders who you are dealing with. So privileged access can be given to different stakeholders. So that's also another great part of the application. Now, just to give you a perspective, what are the modules? So on the left pane, if you see, we have an accounting module just to see which takes care of all the things with accounting. And everywhere you see, I can create shortcuts depending on who I log in. And then the below portion shows all the menus within the accounting part. Similarly, there is an asset module, and you could look at the immediate dashboard based on the user who's logged in, as well as all details about assets and the various functionalities. Uh, Buying is the module where you talk about purchasing, all kinds of procurement, all settings to do with your suppliers, items, all of that related things are in the buying. The system comes with a CRM inbuilt along with the same ERP. So normally most ERPs don't come with a CRM inbuilt along with it. So we come and bundle with the CRM as well. Allows you to really nurture all your leads, opportunities, customers, service customers. All of that is available out of the box from this platform. We also come with a comprehensive HR, which allows you to manage your employees and every details. I will go through the details of that. And along with the HR, we also have ability to manage loans for your staff in case you have policies for that, as well as the payroll. All of this is inbuilt. We also have a project module, which allows you to handle any kinds of projects, or in case you take up construction projects or internal projects or any projects, as a matter of fact, that your business may have of expansion or anything that can be handled within this. The system also comes out of the box with a quality management and a QMS procedures, which could be for incoming material, outgoing goods, batches that are coming up. So you can maintain a lab and maintain quality, and also go do governance of various ISO procedures and various other quality goals that are there within the organization. We also come with a detailed selling process wherein you can have sales done to your customers, again with different kinds of customers. We'll talk about that, and and also handle the sales partners, which is there. It comes with a very detailed inventory system, which allows you to manage your complete stock movement, costing of items, all of that, and brands. Specifically, brands are also something that is included along with the cost so that you can manage the brand and manufacturing. As I said, we also come with a complete case management in maintenance and service level agreements in case you have support agreements with anything. I'm not sure in case you have this current functionality or requirement in your business, but if some services business do need this is possible. We are also able to integrate blogs and web forms directly, as I said, directly from this application so that you can connect with an e-commerce system. So let's say you have Dulux paints being bought online, you could directly integrate with your e-commerce application, and that comes out of the box in the portal settings. And apart from that, you also can integrate videos, allowing you to render content. If you might see, whenever I open any module or any particular functionality, there is you see there is a video. So tutorials are there to teach people. So you can create your video for your customers to do self-service, for your dealers, for various people. For example, you have painters who are influencers of your products. So they could also log into the portal and learn about videos you can publish. That's also something that you can do within the application. Apart from that, the system comes with I didn't show this build. This build is basically allowing you to extend the application specific to your needs. So it allows you to build any module, additional modules, models, views, reports. All of it comes along with the application straight away out of the box. Now, it also comes with customization abilities straight out of the box. In case you have an IT team capable of doing this, they are happy. They would be in a position to extend and create your dashboard, reports, fields. Everything can be done, including translations, or everything is available. Um, Apart from all of the standard modules, we also have what is called as a manufacturing, which is, I believe, one of the critical modules you're looking for. So manufacturing is also available out of the box, where you can plan your production capacity and manufacture goods, create your bill of material, and then ensure they are ready. Uh, and we also come with out of the box point of sale and retail functionality with a loyalty program, which allows you to have your own stores in case you have, and manage sales at the outlets, and help you manage the stock at a point of sale or a branch that where you sell from. So all of this is what the overview of the application is at this point. If there are any questions, I would welcome, just for the overview, just to know what it covers. I may not be able to go through everything right now, but I just wanted to give you a teaser of what is that we are discussing about.
Rudo, any comments from your end so far?
No comment. You can proceed.
Great. So what I will be doing right now, so I've just, as you've seen, this is an application which is comprehensive of all the modules. And what I would be doing is I'll just start maybe by showing different kinds of major elements. So first I will show you from a sales point of view, the selling module, where I will show you what kind of customers you can create. So if I open the customer master, I can just show you that you have a dealer one and a paint company. You could also have a contractor or a construction company buying paints from you. So you could have various kinds of customers, just to show you categorization. And if I open up Imara construction, just to give you an example, you could know all details about the customer that you've dealt with so far. So in case how many quotes you have dealt with, how many sales orders you have done, delivery, invoice, how much payments you have received, what are the bank accounts, what kind of pricing you are giving them, because the pricing that you send for a construction company vis-a-vis the dealer may not be the same. So you could maintain that separately. You could also highlight all details about your customers, about which kind of account management team are dealing it, what kind of customer grouping it is. You could classify your customers, all details to do with their bank account, how you have got this customer, classify the accounting ways of how you will have to classify your customers, credit limits in case you have. All of these functionality is available, and in case you have loyalties, also you can commission. And sales partners, I think this is also one very important features. We have done some work for paint companies in the past, and we've seen that sales partners do play an important role. Do you have painters tagged with dealers who influence those sales?
Sure.
Yeah, so you could maintain a database along with every dealer, the sales partners, and what kind of incentives you provide them to influence your sales. And you have a mechanism to directly communicate and manage loyalty with them as well as sales partners. So this is something that we have, and which I believe is something that you may need. So I just wanted to show you an interface of how a customer looks like. So I will also show you quickly about what kind of products. So I've created some basic items just to give you a perspective. So we have pigment powder, we have paint thinner, and I've taken one or two items just to show the packaging can. So I'll just open up packaging can. You can have your product details added here. You could have details about whether this item is what is the pricing for this item, what transactions have been done in terms of buying the item. You see material request, and purchase orders, whom it has been given to, You could also configure batches in case there are batches for products that you're configuring. You could do that. And then in case, and you can see the stock levels right now in which stores number T, you have about 30 products there. You also have ability to manage the HS code and all items to do with unit of measurements and their descriptions, as well as barcodes, RFID. So we support RFID as well as barcode, all of that. And you also are able to maintain shelf life in case there are products which have a shelf life and expiry. The valuation mechanisms are available. How do you replenish, whether it's manufacturer, customer provider, whatever is the replenishment mechanisms you can do. You can also manage the planning parameters of an item in terms of auto reorder quantity, reorder level you can add. You can also do the unit of measurement and conversion from one unit of to the other. In case you have crates and individual boxes or whatever it is. This also you can configure whether it has a batch or a serial number. So I'm sure serial number is not applicable in your case, but I've configured just to show you the capability, and you can issue by batches or stuff. You can also maintain variants. Same product, maybe you have different variants, you can do that. Variants could be colors, variants could be sizes, dimensions of any kinds you could maintain. Sales, purchase, accounting default. So basically this allows you to also classify the ledger codes and pricing codes depending on how you would love to classify this particular item. And minimum order quantity, safety stock quantity, lead time, depending on some items you may be importing. So you may also be able to maintain the lead time and registered suppliers who are there for this products. So you could also add them and add those suppliers here so that you know how to get this. So in case you're local, all of this is something that you can maintain within the item. In case you have incoming items to have inspection, you could also enable inspection here for the item coming in, so that whenever you're receiving the item, you could do an inspection. And similarly, an item can be created. If it is a manufactured item before delivery, you would love to inspect it, you could also do that. So all of this are by default integrated, and we also have ability to publish this to your website, which will give you real-time stock availability on your e-commerce site so that you know whether this item is available or not, and then customers can order. So this is the kind of functionality I was wanting to show you and give you a glimpse. I'll just show you one other item which is configured, like just to show you, like we had some other demo we did, just to show you sand. We had inspection criteria for sand, and you could define when sand comes. And similarly, you could also look at other items which are a part of the BOM, and you could see the BOM items also. I'll show you a BOM item which is there shortly. So I'll just show you an item called AC Ridge just to give you a perspective, and show you the BOM. So the bill of material is configured here, and you could look into how the BOM is classified and what items are used to manufacture this item. You could look into it and see the BOM is manufactured. You could add many items depending on the product that you are currently configuring in the system. So the BOM and the routing, inspection, all of this attributes are available within the application. So I've just shown you a little bit about the product, the capabilities within the product. I've shown you the customer. Similarly, let me also show you the vendor, supplier. So that's also an important area. So you get to understand about how you are able to manage the procurement side of things. So that's also an important area. So we have supplier. So you could have suppliers like a raw material provider or a can provider, and you could tag this provider or a transportation provider, whichever be the suppliers. You could look into any one of them. And let's say I look at colorful pigments, who's giving you pigments. You can see how much is the the invoice raised by them, and you have paid them, you have not paid, you have some amount, the remaining amounts you're paid. You could see the purchase order details, what was raised. So basically, it's all interconnected with each other. You can navigate and go to any place where you want, all from any place, because they're all connected and you're able to gather the information. And you could see this was for which company, what was the accounting dimension. So you could classify this. This was given to the cost center main or a walk-in customer group. You could define it in any levels. In case you have subcontracting, you can also create subcontracting within the application. Let's say your manufacturing capability is not fully able to manufacture all the demand. You could also subcontract. Subcontracting as a process is completely available with quality inspection. So that's something that is available out of the box. You are also able to create supplier scorecards to really define criteria of how you're going to score and weightage, and you can create grades. Criteria can be set to really manage the evaluation period and functions for your card for your, so that you keep on evaluating based on the going up. From the requisition of an item to the purchaser, as well as invoice, receiving goods, quality inspection, the entire life cycle is available. And this is also available on a portal so that vendors can participate in the process on a self-service, as well as allowing you to reduce data entry internally. See, the idea of this application is also to support your and reduce clerical activities to the minimum, so that internally you are able to flow transactional data from one place to the other, or from your vendors to your system seamlessly. It really promotes that and manage. So for every module, we have a dashboard. So if you look at the dashboard, how many you can create your own dashboard and look at analytics. So how many orders are there? How many have we received? How many have been billed? How many amount to pay? Which are the top suppliers? You could create this, and this whole thing is something configurable. You can refresh this, edit this, you can add your own dashboard points. All of this is configurable. Like, if you similarly, if you open the manufacturing dashboard, you can create a shortcut. How many work orders are there? How many inspections are going on? So depending on the role, you could configure different dashboards for the different people who are logging into the system. So I've shown you the part for that. We also have a territory system so that you can manage territories. Let's say you want to know the Bulawayo region, you want to know, you want to do marketing promotions, so you want to support the dealer network. You could do the territories and then manage sales activities and billboard promotions, or whatever you're doing based on a territory and the sales performance. You could do that. That's available. Just a quick question, Rudo, or anyone from your team. What is the major composition of sales? Is it projects, or is it mostly dealer and retail sales? Hello, am I audible?
Hello, Rudo. Yes, you're audible. I can hear you.
Yes, you can.
Team, there's a question there for you.
Hi, Sanj.
Hi.
Yeah, it's mainly dealers.
Okay, mainly dealers.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So if it, since you have dealers, I'm sure you have a lot of activities to onboarding a dealer and delivering goods to them. So we also come with a complete dispatch planning where you can plan your delivery trips. So if you go to, I'll just show you our selling part of the material where you are able to do your uh, delivery trips. So we come, and good thing is you can just search everywhere and you can prepare your delivery trip list. And within this, you can prepare your delivery trip in terms of manning the driver, the item that is being sent, which vehicle is going, and you can create stops. First, you're going to dealer one, then dealer two, and because one truck may not have all the items only for one dealer, so you could actually manage that and do a dispatch intimation completely available in the in the dispatch planning. So that's also a very good feature. Within the asset system, you can also manage your vehicle. For example, asset category, you can create a vehicle as an asset. So let's say you have a truck, 15-ton truck or a 10-ton truck or whatever be the truck category, you could maintain the details and manage maintenance, repairs. All of that can be done in case you do have your own delivery system. Within the HR, also we allow you to maintain fleet driver logs and stuff like that in case that is a part of a fleet that you need that is available. Even our entire system is connected in manufacturing. So what happens is if when you do your manufacturing operational planning, you can do your settings. So we have a item now. You also have what is called as workstations where you can have assembly line 1, assembly line 2, or a production machinery 1 or 2, whatever you name it. And within that, you could have details as their individual production capacity, how much can be done within an 8-hour shift or whatever within the shift timings. You can create your shift timings as how much time it can work. You could configure the cost consumables and all the cost elements per shift. You could also define the operations and the routing procedures which are involved with that particular machinery. And that is used in your costing, because this will come clearly into your costing to that, you know, what is the electricity consumption for today's production, and you could add all those details and ensure that you get your costing completely. Manage your complete production planning. So production planning is completely available. You could make a production plan and create one out of forecast. So basically we create a production plan out of existing orders, or you could do it based on forecast. So and I'm sure dealers are preparing sales forecast for you. So you can create a complete make to stock production planning for that. So you can prepare a thing. So we have a forecasting available, and forecasting can show all kinds of sales order or delivery or quotation. All quotations you can use, and you can create, okay, what is that is looking for the next few months, and based on that, how much should I produce and how much should I add to my planning. So all of that elements is available. I'm just trying to highlight, and I may be sorry, I'm speaking on a one side on one after the other. Do stop me, please, in case there are areas that you would be specifically interested. But I'm trying to highlight areas I believe based on the paint industry, which could be relevant for you. And to different. So application is interconnected, as I said. We also have a clear reporting on batch so that you can know the total costing for a batch. And if you want to know the gross profit, let's say you want to know the gross profit of any particular transaction or how it is going, let's say you could create a gross profit by sales orders and then say, okay, for this particular sales order, this was what my cost was. This is how I did it. This is how my costing is going to be. So all of this by invoice, you can get profitability. This is also a very good place where you are able to know what is my average selling price, what is the price, how am I doing it, how is my selling price and buying price, and specifically with Zimbabwe, with your forex fluctuations, you are able to know your manage those things pretty well. So you know how your costing is going on. You can filter this by month or an invoice number or a particular item code. You can really create the profitability analysis by a location, by a customer. All of this is possible. So it's really, really flexible in terms of your reporting, accounting, right from different stakeholders which are there in the management. So depending on the perspective of who is looking into the application and depending on their access rights, you could create what is important for people so that they get relevant information. Do you by any chance manufacture for any other brand? So we also have branding, which allows you to create brand and manufacture for them. That's available. That's a possibility. In case you do brand manufacturing for others, it is possible within the application. And then stock ledger is a very good feature which allows you to check by a batch and filter by a batch number and then get information about how much is available for this batch, what are the stock, what was the produced in this particular batch, and you know how much was issued, what came in. So all of this by batch you can know, and what was the value, what was the stock entry. It is all connected. And all of this you can even get it from your chart of accounts. So if you see, the chart of accounts is here in finance, where you can see the asset, liability, income, and expense. And all of this is expandable, and you can see how current assets are. You can go down and all your current asset, let's say stock, you would love to look at your finished goods or goods in transit, a work in progress, any of this, you can go down and look at the ledger, and you will be able to see all the details, and then straight away navigate into what is this item, what has come in, and what was the item that it was you're purchasing this particular item, and you could get the data. So all of this is something possible, and you could see the cost centers are allocated to it. In a finance perspective, it also allows you to do multiple dimensions or cost centers, however be the nomenclature you use. You could use it so that it allows you to classify your expenses depending on how you want it. So we could set up accounting dimensions which are unlimited, and that means you can analyze almost any number of parameters depending on your business. Similarly, we have cost centers which allow you to also define cost centers and analyze expenses. That's possible. And we also have a currency, multi-currency, and also you can receive payment gateway direct payments. So let's say you have made an invoice and the dealer should pay immediately. You could do electronic payment and even connect with payment gateways, so credit card payments for e-commerce transactions, and all of that can be integrated to this platform. Even let's say you want to integrate with EcoCash, we have done integrations in Kenya with M-Pesa, for example, just to show you. Similarly, with EcoCash or any other systems, if you want to do it, we could do that as well. So that's also available from the system. Let me just quickly show you also a little bit about the HR part of it, because I'm sure employees are also very important. And that's definitely is very comprehensive. You have an ability to define an employee. Let's say I open up a factory manager called Peter. You could know his attendance. You can manage his attendance here, and it is possible both normal on the web as well as you can integrate with biometrics. And so you could do the entry here straight away and manage that. The entire you could this is just to show you how the attendance module is. Manually can be done, and as well you can do a bulk attendance for all your employees, or you just pick up people who are absent. You could do that by day or by shift. So you have leave classifications are available. Leave allocations are done also depending on the grade or band what you have, as well as complete life cycle transfer, promotion, separation, grievances. All grievances are available. Travel requests, expenses that are being done by an employee is available. You could manage your salary slips, timesheets, all details to do with your payroll is available. Shift, that means if someone is working on a day shift or a morning shift, you could allocate. This is like a morning shift guy, or if he wants based on a date change, you want to allocate to a different shift, that's available. You can do your roster planning also, that's available. You can plan your training needs for your employees, and you can do a skill map, that's available. And you can also do your appraisal. So we have a appraisal and a KRA KPI system, and depending on what is, I can just create a new template and you can define the KRA and the weightage and how you're going to measure them. So all of that is something that you can edit and create rows, and multiple rows can be added depending on different templates which are there for the organization. In case you have an interest for any particular area, you let me know so that I can drill deeper. I was trying to rush through so that I could show you as much as possible.
Ruben team, if you want to draw us to any specific area, we're happy to do that.
I think it's very clear. I can see that the HR module has got just incorporated, and it's got many other items that we haven't seen with the other ERPs. And I wanted
Indeed.
yes, I wanted to find out on multi-currency, especially on vendors. Can you how does it accept for probably just one account? Does it allow like say when one needs to buy in USD, one needs to buy in Zim dollar? Do you have to define many accounts, or it's just that one account that you can use? You just change probably the currency that you are when doing an invoice. If it's RTGS, if it's Zim dollar, or if it's USD, you can just define that I'm now doing an invoice for this particular customer, but then the currency is this.
Yeah, you can define it during the purchase order. You can define what is the purchase currency, and then ensure that is used during the. So if you see, you can have a default unit of measurement and then the rate, and also you could define that you're going to receive it in some other currency or whatever it is. You could define that within the system, so that is available out of the box.
Okay, I think still on the currencies as well. Does it allow for multi-currency reporting?
Absolutely,
In terms of the
because yeah, I think that is available, so you can get to see currency exchange report, new reports, as well as let's say you want to see the whole chart of accounts based on group currency, as well as in case you have multiple companies, and or if you let's say we have scenarios where you have a company in Kenya, a company in Dubai, and then you want to see the group reporting in US dollars. So that's standard available out of the box, which allows you to do management accounting depending on the currency. That's possible.
If you're also using different currencies as US dollars, yuan, RTGS, and so forth, and you want multi-currency reporting, that is also possible.
Yeah.
Okay. I would also want to probably ask you to go a bit deeper on the stock management side of things, because we have a lot of movement in terms of stock. So I'll be interested to see what functionalities are they reporting and all. And the communication of modules, manufacturing, I think you said they do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So stock is, as I said, we have batch, so you can know the batch expiry, batch. I'm sure paints are all, as far as my knowledge goes, is manufactured and maintained in batches, right? Do you maintain batches of paints? Yes. So you have batch. So batch is something that we already have, and you can maintain the batch quantity by a shift. You could maintain that completely on the batch, and you could know the stock ledger. I'll just show you a stock ledger report. You could select item by a store. Let's say there are all warehouse. I want to know the items in a particular store. You could do that. And then if you want to filter on a particular item, let's say I have AC Ridge just to use because it's not available on the store. But now let's say if you look at sand, I have an item where I have data. Yeah, so it will show you all the data that has come in, out, in and out. What was the transaction? What was the voucher number due to which it is coming? And if I move out of this and then put a date range and then go to the finished goods warehouse, which is finished goods, and it will and pick up a finished good item like AC Rich, for example, or I don't know if this has a transaction. No, we AC Rich may be having a data because. Yeah, I have data here. So you can see what quantity was produced as a result of which transaction. OK, you can know and how many has been issued. So you can go in here and you can see this was basically a manufacturing module. So the stock has come in as a result of manufacturing, and you know what was the time of manufacturing, what items were used, and what was the production happening. So all of that are interlinked with each other. Okay. So the stock ledger is available. You can get your stock price as well as you can create pricing rules for items. That's something that you can maintain and manage absolutely available as well. You can maintain quality inspection, as I said, that's also tightly integrated. So when your goods are coming in, you can maintain quality. Let's say I have an inspection of incoming material, you can create, you can look at it and say, okay, what was the item that was coming in, from which item was sand, what was the parameter. So you can have various parameters of what was being monitored. So you could have different parameters as per your laboratory system, and you can edit and add into a template and assign them and create a workflow for your inspection as well.
Okay, there's a report that caught my attention on the list of reports that were displayed earlier. Stock aging. Can we drill down further into this?
Yeah, sure. So the good thing is this application, you can search everything, stock aging. So you can also get stock aging report. It will show you 30, 60, 90-day plan for every product and how they are 90 and above. Earliest and latest unit of measurement, which item you could see. And you can define this report in different ways depending on how you want it.
Okay.
You could filter also on this. You could actually say, I want to filter only by one particular item or where date range. All of this we can. So if you want to see filter only by separate warehouse, it will show you first warehouse, second warehouse, third warehouse, one after the other. You can see this as well.
Okay, for me, while we're still there on stock, in terms of the dispatch process, do we have the differentiation in terms of your picking list, your shipping documents and stuff? I want to just see what your system has in terms of the dispatch process. And also I want to ask if there are audit trails that also come with the system, audit trails that are just probably there for others to review.
So we have a picking. Yeah, so from term stock movements, we have what is called delivery note for you to plan delivery. I'm sure that is a practice. You can also integrate with your weighing station in case you're weighing. That's also there. You can have picking. Picking list is typically prepared when you get a sales order and you want to prepare a pick list for people to pick depending on assortment of orders coming in from a dealer. And then as I showed you, we have the delivery trip planning, which allows you to also plan for a truck. So sometimes you might be using one truck to deliver to one region. Say you're going towards Bridge or you're going towards one particular geography from Harare, you would know that in this route, I would be planning deliveries for these many dealers. So, and these are the items who will come first. You can do your delivery planning in this particular module. And you can have customer A address, delivery note, assign the delivery note and add more rows. Are you getting the perspective? So even to this extent of planning you can do, you can also get customers from a particular delivery note and populate it into the system so that you know that this is how the whole structure is. So these are all connected with each other.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of audit trails, and probably to add on to the audit trails availability, I'll be interested in issues of users and licensing and probably, yeah, something along those lines.
Let me show you any item. Let's pick up our item. any item that I open. So let's say I open an item here. So Dulux eggshell enamel, for example. If you open this and you go down, you see this is the audit trail which shows what was done yesterday, what was done, were done. Everything is maintained in the timeline. So every record we have a timeline, and this is backend in the table, and we have timestamps for everything. Now, if you go to users, again, you have a user list within which we have user permissions. Let's say I have Saj. Now, Saj, it shows what are the access log you have. So you can maintain and get all your access logs, what was there. You can create, you can have activity logs of what kind of activities, when he was, what failed, what happened, what was done. All of that you can maintain. That's available. You could see what kind of permissions are there. So if you see I'm right now, you can create a new user permission and maintain what is that is going to allow, what you're not going to allow, depending on the modules and roles you can create. Right now I'm an admin right now, just showing you a perspective. You could also have token integration. That means it allows you to allow with token. And then this is where the roles are. If you see what kind of roles are there. And for every role, you could create screen permissions, what is allowable or not. Password rules, security settings are there, right from IP, managing the IP, what is possible, third-party authentications, API access. So this API access also allows you to connect it with special devices. In case you have control panel and you want to bring data, robotics login or any login that is coming from your control panel of machinery for production. So the machinery itself could be the data entry operator for a shift, for example, in case you want to that. So all kinds of permissions are possible within the system, and it is really very comprehensive. And it allows you even to extend, because this comes with a customization. You can actually come and create your customization kit, translations or extensions of fields, everything. It comes within the whole package. In terms of licensing, maybe Cliff, I would request you to elaborate further to them.
Yeah, no, that is something that I'll get back to them once I understand their requirements. But I guess they're asking whether it is the user or it is whether it's the processor if you're using in-house infrastructure, the model.
Yeah, actually, we
Right,
have.
so, yes, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt. Hi guys, it is Amit here. Right, so pricing, licensing is basically based on the number of users, and then again we have got brackets. So I think after this particular demonstration, me and Cliff, we will present. I mean, we'll come back to you with the details of how it is per user license, and in case if we are going for bulk, how is it licensed?
Okay, and does the system integrate with the Active Directory?
Yes, so there are integrations
Yes, it
for,
does.
right. So both with Active Directory as well as with any other mechanism, it supports OAuth.
So if you see authentication, social, LDAP, OAuth, all of this is something that we can support, as well as wide variety of webhooks and settings. Even e-commerce transactions, marketplaces, we could integrate as well.
It also works with M-Pesa. You can see in the payments on the same screen down,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, at the bottom, M-Pesa. So
yeah, M-Pesa is I'm not sure is not there in Zim, but in other parts of East Africa, we have done it. We could also integrate with EcoCash, I believe, is more popular in Zimbabwe, right?
Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
Yes, we could connect with anything like that, similar thing. So we have done Razorpay, PayPal, Stripe. These are global, and they are all being used in this systems.
Okay, and this system, is it a cloud, or you can have an on-premise deployment?
right, so
You can have an, okay, all right.
yeah, let me just answer it. So We have two versions. Basically, the cloud version is also available, and of course, we can also do it on premise. The implementation timelines, efforts, and methodology changes in both the cases.
I would like to ask in terms of reports and how you can model your own reports and probably being able to download certain reports. Maybe you want to further interrogate reports on your own, probably make it out to be what you want. Maybe it's not there in the inbuilt types of reports. Am I able to download it to Excel or something? And anything related to reports and the available reports.
Yeah, so absolutely it is available. If you see, this is like a dashboard I'm configuring. You can add any data points, you can edit this and say, I want to see this chart or this, or what do you want to see? All of that is available in the editing. And then based on that, I can design how the dashboard should be. So all the module elements are available. So I can go and create a dashboard for a new module. And then I can say, what do I want to see here? And for every element which is there as a data point, I can add a chart and then show what is that I want to see here. And I can bring, okay, I want to see this for, let's say, supplier. So every element I can just bring a chart and then create your report. And then all of this you can download and take it to Excel or whatever format you want to bring it. All of the standard reports are available into PDF, Excel, any report which is there, you can do that. So let me just open up a chart of accounts report. You can create financial statement. Let's say you want to see trial balance. And then if you want to export it to Excel or PDF or whatever format you want to do it, you can do that.
Okay, and how do you conduct stock take with this system?
Sorry, I could not follow you.
Okay, how do you go about conducting stock takes using this system?
Stock
Yeah,
take.
stock take is see, the stock taking mechanism itself is evolving a lot, I'm sure. Long time back, people used to stop the entire purchase, stop the entire sales, and and then used to do stock take and do the adjustment of stock loss or damages. But the things are evolving. So some people are even doing stock takes on a daily basis nowadays. So we support all of that. We have a stock reconciliation mechanism wherein you can update the stock on a particular date and then reconcile depending on you want to do it on daily, monthly, depending on how your current structure is. So it can be created and you know what are the series, what are the stock, what is the valuation, all of that you can create and you can do that.
Yes, we normally conduct our stock takes on a quarterly basis.
Yeah, so I think there is a lot of changes coming into this perspective. People are using handheld devices, scanners, depending on if you're using RFID. For example, a lot of people using RFID at a crate level, they are able to do stock take on a daily basis because the forklift within that they attach what is called as antennas, which when they are passing in the whole thing, they get real-time update of stocks. So they don't need to do stock take and stop it. So it depends upon how you have planned. With technology, a lot can be done and our system is capable. You could also, a lot of people are changing the way the stock take is happening. As I said, we are flexible and we can allow you to do stock take on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, quarterly basis, depending on how you want to do it and reconcile. That's absolutely available in the system.
Okay, that's fine. And in terms of maintaining our plant, does this module, does this system come with probably a plant maintenance module?
Yes, it comes with asset maintenance, which is normally any asset is a is basically considered within the plant. So we have you can have as well as a fixed asset register and what you can do in the maintenance. So if you go here, let's say I've not created an asset right now, which is a plant, but right now just to show you an example of a truck, which is also you can have a maintenance module here. You can come here, you can know what is the maintenance task, visit a planned maintenance or abrupt maintenance, what is it assigned to, who is the person responsible, what is the periodicity you should do daily, weekly, who's the maintenance manager's name, and the next due date you can maintain. And you can add more logs further to it as to what are the tasks of maintenance. So you can have first task to you could do this maintenance after a production. Let's say you have a mixing unit, and within that you want to do cleaning before the next batch of paint comes in. You could do maintenance of the asset or whatever after a production schedule as well. So you can create this into different ways.
Okay, that's fine. And the quality management system, what is it like?
See, quality we basically can follow any kind of quality. As I said, you could have a quality goal. Within the goal, you could create, let's say, what are your goal? Let's say you can do ISO, and you can have based on that goal and that procedure, you could have various objectives. You could add that. Once that is created, you could go back and then create the next level of stuff, which is called the quality procedure. And for that procedure, what are the compliances that are required? All of that can be managed. So it's a detailed QMS system. It allows you to manage all items of compliances that are there, review, you can add quality procedures, and then further down procedures. You could maintain all of that within the system. And it comes with also what is called the inspections. So as I showed you, this is an inspection of an incoming material. That's also a quality parameter that you can maintain within the system. Similarly for outgoing maintain. So you can use this to maintain all things to do with your ISO, all things to do with your total quality management, Six Sigma, any kind of quality procedures that you have within your organization, lean, documentation required. Let's say you want to maintain procedures regarding to employee health and safety. All of those can be maintained within this application.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Earlier you talked about an inbuilt CRM module. I wanted to find out that does it
Yes.
allow for us to be sending statements to sort of have our systems send statements to customers on a monthly basis or at a predetermined time, billing and things like that, like sending to emails. Yeah, that's what I mean.
You can send email. We have, as you see, they have SMS logs, email campaigning is completely available. The first thing, as I told you, is a customer can log into the portal. So you don't even have to send in case he wants to visit. So he can visit the whole thing and get to see everything. So within the application, you can even ask even your painter. Let's say you have, I know customers who have 200,000, 300,000 painters who are constantly learning how to apply and use the paints, correct? And they get training. So if you want to publish videos for your partners, like sales partners, you could do that. Let's say you are organizing in Bulawayo a camp for painters where you would love to show them what are your new range of products, and you incentivize them, you're distributing t-shirts and various programs. You could actually communicate to all your painters just to show you how that will be influencing your sales. That is something you can do from this application. And you can give a login through which they can, as I showed you, this is a mobile responsive application. So any smartphone based browser or an app can be used to download information specific to the customer or specific to any partner. So we are also supporting partners as at painters. You could have your vendors log into the application. You could have your transporters log into your application. You could give privileged access to anyone outside the organization so that you reduce data entry. The objective is to make sure that your clerical data entry work is reduced at the back end.
So in terms of the access, is it very, very secure?
Yeah,
To-
it
to-
is. It is
yeah,
giving you completely role-based access only.
Okay. Okay. And the mobility, it's
Yeah, you can use it on a mobile phone. You have a you can support a mobile app as well, and then you can make people to use it. Let's say I'm a guy sitting in a truck. My job is to go from one store to the other next door. They can use it on the phone.
okay. And in terms of are there any other customers using that have implemented the system here in Zimbabwe?
In Zimbabwe, we're actually talking to quite a number of customers who got wind of what we are doing elsewhere outside of Zimbabwe, and that is in East Africa, Kenya with the client. We've got one coming up very soon in Sierra Leone. And then for Zimbabwe, I'm sure very soon you will hear that we've got our first client. But what is key is that when you're looking at manufacturing, for instance, the Kenyan example, if you guys would fly there and get to the plant, you would have a look and feel of exactly what you are doing here in terms of all these things we're talking about. And it will be the same thing. There are the clients, even as we speak, in India. I'm sure Amit and Saji can talk more about that. To add on to that is that at Sportnet, we have handled a number of ERPs and systems. And when we decide to pick a system, like we did some 5 or so years ago, working with this system, it was because of certain gaps and holes that we had seen in the systems that were being used here in Zimbabwe. Some of which gaps are actually now, that they say, chicken coming home to roost. And we have handled some of the systems that you are actually looking at, but I'm not going to get into names because it's not appropriate. But if you just check on our website, you will see what we have dabbled with. But why is it that we're talking Wish now and not any other systems? Number one is the issue of comfort and security and risk and protection of investment when it comes to systems. We have systems in Zimbabwe that are at risk of end-of-life stories, as it were. One of them, very clear, 2 or so of them, you don't know. Might have a similar kind of situation, given how certain geopolitical issues happen and how vendors domiciled in certain countries decide on a whim to just pull out. With Wish, not only do you not have such a risk ever, but we go beyond just promising and we say we can escrow the source code so that in the event, unlikely event of anything happening, you know your investment is protected because you've got the source code escrowed. This example we picked from how we've been dealing in the financial sector. In this country, we've got systems running in the financial sector. And each time we would secure a deal, it was a requirement, maybe because of the much more expensive approaches to financial sector investment in terms of systems. But with escrow source code to protect the bank's investment and its client continuity, we borrowed that concept and brought it to the ERP sector. Why don't we escrow source code for ERP? We would be, as we speak, the only ERP solution provider giving you that opportunity out of the 1 or 2 that you would be looking at. Secondly, if you look at the history of installation of ERPs in Zimbabwe, the installations are endless sometimes. You can go for a year or 2 or more. When you're supposed to be going live, you are ready to be canceling in the old days. I'm talking about things that are happening right here, and you can Google them. The total cost of ownership over a period of time with some of these ERPs is huge. We've had 20 years dealing in the industry with these ERPs, but we did not and are not condemning them. We are offering better. We are saying, this is what you can look at. We'll give it to you at a price point that will shock you positively, not negatively. vis-a-vis whatever you're looking at right now. The other thing that is also very important is that ERPs are sold. And then people realize that almost a third of what they require is happening outside of the ERP. You just have a few things happening inside and then the rest is happening outside. Now you then have to patch, you dig a hole to fill a hole, leaving another hole open. Our system is end to end. The 10 key, one point of convenience, having everything inside. You don't have to do anything outside of it. Give you room for customization, yes. In a likely event, there's something we're not even talking about now that you decide to do, it can be done. But so far, from what I can see, you have an end-to-end system, and you're doing everything within the system, and you are doing it at a price that will leave your budget available for other things within the organization. Zimbabwe is familiar with ERPs that can cost quite a lot of money, but delivering not to the expectation. So when I come and we sit and speak more about what I'm talking about, I'll be at liberty to get into more detail, more candidly, share with you our experiences here and on the continent, share with you my experiences out of systems, and offer you a value proposition that you can consider positively.
Right. Thank you for that, Cliff. And maybe while you are still there, in terms of your team here in Zimbabwe, say like we decide to go with this ERP. How big is your team, and probably the deployment, like say take on balances? Do you have to take on balances or some history? Can you just clarify there?
Right. So part one of your question, we're quite a solid team. Software has been our mainstay for years. I think I gave the sectors that we're playing in. We have a core team of 8 software engineers, core team. And then we've got a peripheral team. Now, difference between core and peripheral, in my definition, is peripheral are those that you bring in when you have got a project, because they are spread all over doing other projects. Core are those that you keep and you retain and you have, and they're doing projects from A to Z. So in terms of our team on the ground, we're quite solid. And the nature of the system also, anyway, it gives us quite leverage and extension into our partnership, which is even many more heads in terms of developers, engineers, and technical people, which is the WISH team in India. So we're quite solid on that basis. The second question, I didn't quite understand it. Can you repeat it, please?
Yeah, I can maybe talk about the balances. Okay. Opening balances is something you can bring in. Also, if you would love to bring in any unfinished transactions in the past, for example, open purchase orders or other things, we have an import tool which you can use to import data from Excel, and all of that is available. So we have we have an import master data import list completely available. So you can have your customer import or holiday import or any module you want to import, you could create, and be it a chart of accounts, depending on what you want, and you can download a template, and that template will show you what fields you want to bring. You can export it to Excel and then fill up the data in Excel and pull it as an import. That's the way we do it. So we have templates for every aspect of the system. Of course, transactions also can be done, but it is a very time consuming and laborious task, and you have to really make sure that you clean the data, what you bring in. Otherwise, you will have garbage in and garbage report outs. So basically, it's very, very critical that the mapping is done properly, and this takes some time, but we have tools which are normally provided for data import. I believe that was your question, right?
Yes, that was my question. And the database that comes with the system?
Amit, you want to give more details on that, please?
Yes, sure. Typically we support two types of databases. One is MariaDB, which is open source, but is highly effective. And second is Postgres. That's another database which is sort of open source, I would say. So we support both of these.
Okay.
From the perspective, see, I can imagine the questions that you're asking, and from where you are coming. How many years you have been using your current ERP? What is the sort of, or what is the volume of data we are looking at in case if we are to say that a new ERP has to replace your existing?
Yeah, it's quite, we've got a lot of data, especially I think in the manufacturing side, because we
Correct.
do, there's quite some data there.
Correct.
And I
So
think on the
let's say let's say you have been using your current ERP for more than 5 years, last 5 years.
Oh, more than 10 years.
More than 10 years.
Yes.
Lovely. And products, as we can see on your website, they must be around 30 odd products.
No, much more. Variants are there, quite number, thousands.
We've got different types of products and different lines of paints, so it's quite a huge database. Our inventory.
Right. So there are two things I'm trying to arrive at. One is we can definitely import, other than just the opening balances, we can import a lot of data from your current system, provided the current system allows exporting of data, maybe in Excel format or in a format that we can reuse. Okay. So
Yes, we can, because currently we are using SQL database. So I'm sure we can take on the data as well.
Lovely, lovely. So that's one. Second is ideally, we support our customers as far as we can in getting the right set of data into the system. So I understand you might be having thousands of products, in your current system. Some of them might have already expired or might have reached their end of life, which you don't want to carry on in the new system. There are new products that you might want to add into the new system, and so on and so forth. So other than just a simple data import, we actually provide a comprehensive service of putting in the data initially into the system based on the current data that is available in your current system. Right. So we give a complete consulting service as well, in which we can also discuss about what data, what modules, what information, what products, what items, what processes to bring into the new system from your old system. And if there is any chance of optimization, I would say, or tweaking in your manual processes or in your current processes, as we migrate them, I think, to the new system, right?
Okay.
Any other queries you would like us to answer?
Yes, maybe I missed something on the asset module. Let's say I bought a machine today for 1,000 USD, and definitely in Zimbabwe we are operating in multi-currency, and so will I be able to define that I bought this asset today at 1,000 and it's equivalent to that, and to report in those in those currencies at any given moment in time?
Yeah, we have support of asset value adjustments. If you see, we can do asset value adjustments, and then you can have additions to an asset. For example, you buy a car, you buy additional engine or any other component, you could do that. and you have the ability to add more components and increase the valuation of this. You can also depreciate as well as add the value. That is possible.
Thanks.
And we have a fixed asset register as well. So you can see your complete value, what was the opening value, depreciation, the cost center, everything you can get into this, and additions or whatever you have done within the system.
All right, thank you.
I think we've exhausted all our questions. Probably if anyone has got something that comes up, we can always contact Cliff to get clarification.
No, thank you very much, and I'm available for that. Feel free, and a recording of this presentation will be available, so you can to go through it over and over again, come up with anything that you feel and think is not being provided for yet is key to you. We'll be able to show you that it's actually provided for. It's just that the time allows us to just scratch the surface. So we're happy with that.
Yeah, sure. Because also some of our team members are not around today. I'll definitely want them to go through this recording and we get what they think about the Wish ERP.
That'll be good. What they can also do is, after they've gone through this recording, and you want us to have this session again with more people available due to their reaction to what they've seen, we will be able to do it.
All right. And if you've got probably a brochure, you can just send it through.
Sure, we'll maybe do that. Maybe that. So I guess we've come to the end of part 1 of our presentation. Part 2 being when you request us. But for now, we've done the best we can in the couple of days that we squeeze ourselves into offering your presentation. There's a whole lot more that we don't know about the organization, Julius, which would probably help us to even uncover and unveil more functionalities. But it's the beginning of, I'm sure, a walk into knowing each other in terms of organizations, in terms of our products. And we are as available as a phone call, an email, or a physical visit away. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Have a
the
great weekend.
presentation.
Have a great day. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.